Welcome everybody to our introduction to our newest update version 4.0. This is our second version of this webinar, so glad you were able to join us this time. We're going to start off with a PowerPoint presentation, and then we're going to go into a live product demonstration. First, we want to clear up a couple of housekeeping issues here. So if you have any questions, there's a question or an opportunity to ask questions as you go through the presentation. So it should be on your menu towards the bottom, and you can just ask as many questions as you want. Our moderator that is going to keep an eye on those and in the background as we go through the presentation, and at the end of the presentation then we'll go over any questions that have come up during the presentation. We try to keep this right at the time allocated, so we are going to do our best to not run over an hour from the time that we started. So with that in mind, we'll go ahead and get started. And I'm going to turn this over to Megan so that she can start here in the PowerPoint presentation.
Thank you everyone for joining Brad and I this afternoon. We have gathered here today to discuss in general all of the changes that have been implemented for version 4.0. Not really wanting to go too far down the rabbit hole today, so to speak, just an overall look at what has happened. After today, you should be able to go ahead and get installed, or if you're already installed, you might be more comfortable with the new changes that we've put in. So let's take a look here at our favorite picture, the spider diagram, and see all of the changes in a visual way. With the release of 4.0, a fair amount was updated to the desktop, and with those changes, it affects all of the connecting applications. We have new installations, new help files, the ability to spell check in every application, and things of similar nature. The biggest change to our software is our renovation of our notification system. We've added the concept of escalation, changed the interface, integrated email services so that you will get email notifications as well as notifications from the desktop. It will change the way that you see your work. SPC got a little touch-up with SPC binders being integrated with DWA for those of you who use both of those pieces of software, and we moved the reports into suite reports. Quality Planner saw a decent amount of changes as well, changes in the control plan, and we renovated and redesigned our number dispenser application. It now works within all of our applications that could use a document number. Lastly, we've added and modified reports from suite reports. I believe we've added 5 new reports and modified at least a couple dozen. I know the spider diagram looks a little busy, but a lot happened.
All right, thank you, Megan. So here's our overview of the changes that have taken place. And I guess we've pretty much just reviewed those, but we're going to go over them a couple of different times here just to make sure that everybody is aware of what has changed. And unlike in our last version, which was 3.9.9, it was very concentrated on a singular application. Version 4.0 has taken more of a widespread approach to the updates and changes in our software. And we're going to get a little bit more specific into each one of those pieces that has gone through the renovation with this new release.
We will begin our journey with desktop, the source of all of the power. We have revamped, revitalized help files available throughout all of our applications. They've all been rewritten and available throughout by either clicking F1 or going to context-sensitive help. Each one of the applications now utilizes a new installer as well. It takes significantly less time to install our product. I see it as a breath of fresh air. Some of the applications load so fast you blink and you miss the screen entirely. Other features we implemented is the ability to search in pools. Again, this appears in any application where you have to use a pool to find an item. The first image on the screen depicts an example of what the responsibilities pool looks like now. At the bottom of the dialog box is where the search box is located. Lastly, we place spell check anywhere that spell check could be applied. Training Manager, Folio Manager, Quick Reg, Template Admin, List Builder, and Suite Reports have spell check running in the background without the need for a button. So you would have to right-click and allow spell check to be enabled, and then it will run constantly for you. One less thing to worry about, and it'll be a better way to make your process of writing documents faster. The biggest and most dramatic change to the suite is our new notification system, which is called Suite Notify and Notifications Panel. The first image on the screen depicts a screenshot of it. It combines the majority of notifications from our applications into one place. The only application not involved in Suite Notify currently is Folio Manager, but that will be added in a later update. So inside Suite Notify, you can see the following: recently released documents within a user-defined number of days, any escalations that you should be aware of, and this is a new concept that we are bringing to the table. If someone hasn't taken care of a task within a certain amount of time, then it will be escalated to the next person in line. More on that in a second. Then any documents that are awaiting disposition will be listed. Next, any documents that have been returned to you will be available to see as well, along with documents in which participant disposition has been provided that you have routed, documents awaiting review, any audits that are in line, any corrective actions and what work phase they are in, any training manager actions, either trainer or trainee actions, and lastly, any checked out documents that you are an editor in a list of general reminders. Suite Notify has a lot to say, and it will be a very helpful and powerful tool for all of you. A second ago, I mentioned escalations. How are these escalations determined? I mean, how will this be set up so that you know who the notification gets sent to if someone hasn't done their work yet? We have that covered for you too. For any user with master privilege, they will be able to access Notifications Panel. This is the heart and the soul, the deep inner configuration of how Suite Notify functions. Within Notifications Panel, you are able to view all active notifications, edit, create, and delete ladders, and control settings for each type of notification. Now, Megan, you're probably thinking, what do ladders have to do with any of this? Are we talking about ladders like this incredibly blown up picture of a ladder you have on the slide? No, that's not what I mean. This picture of ladder is not the same, just merely here for a visual interpretation. What we mean by ladders is a list of users that you want notifications to move to when work has not yet been completed. Let's talk through an example. Let's say we have a document and user A, how about we call her Jody, is responsible for reviewing it. But for some reason, it goes unnoticed and actions need to be taken. An escalation would happen and an escalation notification would be sent to user B, how about we call him Todd, would be alerted that Jody didn't do her work. Todd tells her, but for some reason nothing happens, and so after another period of time, user C, we'll call her Nancy, would have an escalation notification. You can make ladders as large as you wish or as small as one person. There are 4 different types of ladders: global, type, user, and user and type. You can build ladders for user, type, and user and type to help identify where notifications need to be sent. Everyone starts off with a global ladder already built in, which only consists of the master user. The user and type ladder is the strongest and most specific ladder. If there is no user and type ladder specified for a person or type, then it will look for a user ladder. If there's no user ladder, then we'll go to type and then to global. Therefore, I guess for homework of sorts, you might want to start thinking about how you want to set up your organization's ladders. For those of you that have used our e-Notify service in the past, this may or may not look a bit familiar. We have incorporated the function of e-Notify into our new Suite Notify so that everyone can reap the benefits of having email notifications. The image on the left is what the notification configuration screen looks like. Here you can enter your SMTP server address, port, username, password, and whoever you want to have the email notifications being sent from. The most important part of all this is what is in the red rectangle. This is where you start and stop your service. My image shows currently that my service is stopped, but you're going to want yours to say running. So we won't get notifications unless I push the Start the Service button. We will be glad to help you set this up whenever you upgrade to version 4.0, and we also provide documentation on how to do so on your own.
Thank you, Megan. Quality Planner has also received a variety of touch-ups as well. We have added some additional supporting document indexing that comes through in an automated fashion. We've also given you the ability to edit additional fields in the control plan by identifying who the plant approval was and what date that was done by. If there's any quality approvals that you need to document in those dates, customer engineering approval, as well as auxiliary approvals. There's 2 fields for that, and dates for those associated fields. We've also given you the ability to display operation numbers in your process flow diagram. That's something that we've had a number of customers that have requested. And you've also got the ability to discard documents directly from Quality Planner now. It's a right mouse click on the menu, and you can just delete them directly or discard them directly from Quality Planner. SBC has also had some changes. In SBC Operator, you've now got the ability to view binders from SBC Operators. There's a View Binders integration area available under the File menu. And we also have moved all of the reports that were in SBC Examiner. Those have now been moved to the Suite Report module. So now all of the official reports are now included in Suite Reports. And the operator reports that were still available in the charts area are still contained in SBC Operator. We've completely rewritten Number Dispenser, and it has taken on some new functionality as well. It still works very similarly. The concept is still the same, but there's new features that have been added. For example, you've now got the ability to clean up your number list by using a new reconcile functionality. You can even retire old numbers. You can reassign document numbers to other documents. You can update numbers, and you can also identify documents that may have the same or have been using the same number unbeknownst to you. It's got a sleek new look, and the view is customizable. So if you're a fan of the ability to change the skins on the newer components, then you'll like this one too.
Lots of positive feedback has come in terms of our latest application Suite Reports. Along with said feedback came some requests for more reports. So in this version of Suite Reports, we have 5 more reports for you to utilize, and a good handful of the previously made reports have been updated in various ways, as in being able to make it more specific in order to get the kind of results that you're looking for. On the slide is an example of the Master List Review Summary Report, which was a requested report from a customer. And now we will move towards a demonstration.
Here we go, right into desktop. All right. So with desktop, as Megan mentioned, you got the help files that have now been updated. If I were in my to-do list here, for example, and I had a document that had been returned and I wanted to know more about what that is, I could go up to Help, Context Sensitive Help, and the help has now all been rewritten and is now currently in the Windows supported format, so that all of the help is now fully functional. And you can see that there is a lot of help available just here for desktop. So if I scroll up here, you can see there's an enormous amount of help that is available. And if I change to something else here, if I go ahead and close that once it's loaded, and I'll change up to review, and then I go up to help and context sensitive again, it flashes right back up there, and then it gives you the help about reviewing documents. So big improvement there, and I know this is going to be very well received. Megan also mentioned that in the pools, So under administration, pools, and system pools, in all of the pools now, you have the ability to search. When you're adding things to a pool, we'll say, for example, FMEA causes here for a process. And if I go into the editing interface here, and I want to add something to this pool. So all of our quality planner customers are going to really like this, because once you now have the ability to search for things beforehand, so that you can make sure that what you're trying to add hasn't been added before. So I'm getting a little bit of latency here from trying to bring up this pool. Maybe I chose the wrong pool. There we go. So down here at the bottom, you have the ability to search. So say, for example, if you wanted to add something, we'll just say something with pour in it. And so I've typed in pour and hit find. Then it's going to show me all of the items that have the word pour in the entire description. It's not just starting with the word. It covers all of the words that are in it. Okay, so you just hit find, and then it's going to show it. And then clear it, and it brings back the entire list. All right, so just so that you can see that functionality again, I'm going to put the word from, F-R-O-M, which is certainly not at the beginning of any, so I hit add, and there it shows the only item in the entire list that has the word from somewhere in the description. Okay, so a big help there in adding content to the pools. We're hoping that this is going to help organizations dramatically reduce the amount of duplicate entries, because they can go in and search what they're adding so that they don't add the same item again and again and again. And if you may have noticed, when you're in here and you're editing anything, you've got the spell check feature right there in place. Okay, I'll hand it back here to Megan so that she can go over notifications.
Thank you very much. All right, let's see if I can grab the mouse. Okay, we'll move out of here and move to our little clock friend. Oh, you also have it down here. You already had it open for me. How thoughtful of you. So this is the main Suite Notify screen that everyone in the organization that uses our software will have access to. It will have many tabs. The recently released tab, which shows the recently released documents in X amount of days. But this one is different compared to the recently released on the to-do list, because these recently released documents are based on whether or not you are involved in the electronic distribution list. And the to-do list recently released is about document access, and those are not mutually exclusive. So you won't see the same results here versus here. So this is electronic distribution, and these are document access. Here's the tab for awaiting or documents awaiting disposition. Currently, our system does not have any documents in this tab. Here's the return tab. Notice this little triangle we have right here. That means there was a notification that we had not viewed yet that was waiting for us. And here it is in bright red, alerting you like a bright stop sign. You have a notification, work that needs to be done. You can have title, number, revision, whether or not it's been escalated. We'll talk about that in a second. The return date, route type. It gives you all of the details that you need to know at an instant. Think of it as the dashboard. Here is the tab for participant disposition, and we don't have any documents in this tab either. But if we go to the review tab, we have 5 notifications waiting for us, and all of them have been escalated. Let's see, here's the audits tab. We don't have any audits. I'm noticing a pattern. If we go to corrective action, there are 2 notifications for us, and it tells you the who specifically for the corrective action needs to do work on that nonconformance. So the gatekeeper for both of these needs to look at this nonconformance to see what needs to be done next. It even tells you the work phase. If you have Training Manager installed on your machine, and if you are a designated trainer on some documents, you will have an extra tab in here called the Trainer tab. Otherwise, you will just have the Trainee tab. So if you need training done for a document that you have to have done, it'll tell you the kind of training type, and it'll list them all out here for you. We have plenty of notifications. Some of these have been viewed, and some of these have been escalated and not. It'll tell you who the trainer is. It'll tell you the status. It'll tell you the target date, when the document was released. The checked out tab is the tab where all of the documents that you've been editing or responsible for, where they are currently. It'll tell you the owner. Well, we're logged in as the master user, so we're a owner of a handful of these documents, and who's checked out by. So we have a document here that is checked out by someone else, and it'll tell you the workstation that it has been checked out on and when it was. So if you need to get a document back from a user, you can find out who to talk to about how to get that document back. Last is the Reminders tab, and this is where you can create general reminders using the New Reminder button up here. You can give it a due date, you can make them for yourself or for other people in the system. And you can write, I need this document to be trained again in a month, or I need this document to be reviewed by next Friday, or something as simple as calling a customer. Just think of it as those little post-it notes that you put at the bottom of your monitor to remind yourself that you need to do something. That's how I like to see it anyway. I'm not going to create one. I'm just going to click OK. Oh, I guess cancel. Last, I left the Escalations tab specially because I figured that we would have a large amount based on what we were seeing. And there are lots of escalations that are due to be notified in here. Yes, that is a large amount. It'll tell you the document, the description. Don't be worried by the title description. It consists of the document title, the document number, and the version number of the document. It'll tell you the exact there we go. Tell you the type of notification. It'll tell you who the original notification was sent to. It'll tell you when the escalation period started, or when the original period started for the notification. This is when the escalation started. And this is the escalation rank. We'll talk about the escalation ranks in a second. The other buttons up here, refresh so that you can refresh your screen. We talked about the New Reminder tab already. Preferences gives you various preferences about how you want to set up your Suite Notify. So you can have it check for notifications every X amount of seconds. We have ours set to 600 seconds, which is 10 minutes, which is the longest period that we have for our system. You can go down lower than 60 seconds if you really wanted to come and pop up at you every minute. You go right ahead, but I prefer that every 10 minutes. And then there will be reminder notifications every X amount of minutes. If you want the screen to remind you when you log into desktop or not, we have our recently released documents tab to be set to show documents released within the last 5 days. And this one is that so the notifications will only show up on your system tray down here. So if we were to close out of it, it would show a little clock down here. And then you'd be able to click on the clock and come back into Suite Notify. And after you have viewed your notifications, they refresh and turn into reminders, which are yellow and a little less bothersome. Lastly, we have the Notifications panel button, which is only available for those users that have master privilege into the system. Not being a master user, just saying master privilege. This will get you into the deep nitty-gritty details of how Suite Notify functions. And we have said master privilege, so we're going to log on in here. And it'll load and show us a vast amount of information. So we have three main tabs: active notifications, escalation ladders, and notification types. Active notifications lists every active notification in the system. And this testing system of ours is very large. We have lots and lots of notifications. Now you're probably wondering what these little ones are. Well, you saw I talked a second ago about the escalation rank, and that's what those are. And don't be scared by the fact it's red. It's just meaning to tell you that it is on a ladder and it is at the first rung of the ladder. And it is using this ladder because this is our default ladder, which only has one ring in it. Therefore, it's very logical that all of them are set to the first ring of the ladder, which is master. And this is the default, as I discussed earlier, for everyone that gets this installed. Master will be the global ring of the ladder. I would recommend not editing the global ladder. We keep this here as the default, as the beginning. And the other tabs, the types of ladders, we got the type ladder, the user ladder, and the user and type ladder. Those are the ones that you're able to configure on your own. So we will choose, oh, look, we have a user ladder here for us. How nice. So this is Fuller. He's a user of ours, and he has 3 rings in his ladder. You got Creech, you have Management Rep, and you have the Engineering Manager. You can tell what status they are, you can tell if they're personnel or user, and you can tell which time they logged in last. I'm going to create a second ladder. You can create ladders for both users and personnel. Let's see, how am I going to pick today? Pick the engineer. And it refreshes the screen to show engineer, and the default for every new ladder is the master user. You're able to add and remove other users and personnel to be the rungs of your ladder. It'll give a little notification if they don't have an email address in their user profile on desktop. That is mainly for our email notification service that we have combined, but it's not a problem in the system. It'll still create notifications sent to that user. They just won't get emails unless their email is part of their profile. So it adds on top to the master and creates the second rung. I would like to think of this, a good analogy would be like stacking plates on top of each other. So we put the new plate on top of the old plate. And you're able to remove a user. Well, now that we have another user in here, we can remove master. I think it would be best practice personally if you took out the master, because we have the global ladder, so it'll all end up getting back to the master if you don't have other ladders set up. So you're able to add multiples, you're able to put them in other order. Yeah, I'll show you here. There you go. See, now they switch places, like playing musical chairs. We also have the user and type ladder, and we have 2 ladders here. When you create the user and type ladder, you pick both the user and take this one, and then you can pick from any of the notification types. So let's say you want to have the engineering manager. Whenever he has document review notifications, it will use this specific ladder if he doesn't perform the document review notification in time. and then would go to the next person in the ladder, which is currently master, but I'll add somebody else in here for fun. Let's put Anderson back in. Remove master. So that when the engineering manager doesn't perform his document review in time, then Brad would get a escalation notification saying that the engineering manager did not perform that document review in time. The last tab is the notification types, and here is listed all of the notification types that a notifications panel and Suite Notify use. You're able to enable and disable them, like so. Okay. So now I have it disabled, and then you have to click on enabled again. You're able to edit the start windows and reminder periods and the escalation periods for all of them. Some of them start immediately, some of them, the start window for most of these is immediate, but other ones have 1 day or the due date of the document or 2 days. It's usually a little bit of leeway in between each of the periods so that you have time to perform the task. But if you don't want it to be immediate, you can change how long you want it to be. It goes up to 99 days. That is a long time. I am not going to mess with that. Let's see. I think I covered the basic majority. Oh yes, e-notify. Thank you for reminding me, Brad. So, do you have that screen? Oh, you have all sorts of stuff up. I'm sorry. Okay. So the notification configuration is installed on the server, and this is where I discussed earlier where to put in the information so that if you do want email notifications sent out, that you would be able to do so by filling this out and making sure that your service status is running. And ours is running. You can have it set for how long you want the system to check for new notifications and how often you want emails to be sent out. Oh, reminders, yes. 1440 is 1 day. That's a fun fact for the day. And I'm going to hand this over to Brad so that he can talk about Quality Planner.
All right, thank you, Megan. Yeah, I've got the next couple here, so we'll jump into Quality Planner here. In Quality Planner, as I mentioned, you've now got the ability to fill in these fields here right in the center of the document in the control plan. You got the supplier plant approval date, the customer quality approval date, other approval dates, and a customer engineering approval and date. And up to this point, since this is one of the documents that is typically requires a hard copy signature, this is one that people have just filled out by hand. But we've had some customers that have requested the ability to fill in the information as well. So you now have the ability in version 4.0 of Quality Planner. Now you've got the ability to select information, and it comes from the personnel pool. So if you need to select someone, you just bring up the personnel pool. You may need to add some additional members or people from different organizations to your personnel pool, but that's okay. You can have as many people in your personnel pool as you want. A lot of organizations have contractors and other supplier personnel in their pools already to be able to populate other forms as well, and even to complete training records. Notice you've got the search here as well. And then you can select the date. If it's not applicable, just leave a checkbox in the not applicable field, and then it's not going to show any information at all. Also, as I mentioned, in the process flow diagram, you've got the ability now, if we view this document, when I built this project, I selected the option to display the operation number in the actual step. So that is a new item as well that you'll be able to complete your documents and include those operation steps. Seems to be more of a hot button for some folks than others. And as I mentioned, you've also got the ability to discard checked out documents. So right now I've got this document checked out, and if I wanted to discard that, I could do a right mouse click and select discard. It's a new menu option in the right mouse click menu. Okay. Also, the pool information has also, I showed you how you can do your search functions here. It also has spell check in it as well. So lots of nice features that have been added to Quality Planner. In SPC Operator, as I mentioned now, if I jump in here to SPC Operator, under the File menu, you now have a new option here, View Binder. And the View Binder takes you up to desktop web access here. And so if I log in here, we'll say as an operator, and I needed to view the print for this particular document, or this part that I'm making here, I can go to the binder, and there are my documents. All of the binders are available to choose from. And then I can see my document. Even though I'm in SPC Operator, I can see the documents that are available in Desktop Web Access. So long as you're using Desktop Web Access, this functionality is available. If you're not using Desktop Web Access, you just need to click over to Desktop and go to the binders area and view them that way. So you've got access to them either way, but this is a little bit quicker for those people that are taking advantage of Desktop Web Access. Okay, I'll go ahead and log out of Desktop Web Access, so I'll exit that session gracefully. And then I'll close Internet Explorer. In SPC Operator, all of those reports that we mentioned that were available there in the past are now available in Suite reports. So that's going to be a little bit of a change for people that are accustomed to seeing the reports in SPC Examiner. But all of those reports have been moved over to the Suite reports now. Also, number dispenser, as we mentioned, that's been completely rewritten. And here's the new look for number dispenser. I've got even a different skin here. This is the springtime. It's not going to be long. I know a number of us probably have snow on the ground right now. I know we have snow on the ground here in Indianapolis, so it's been getting pretty cold here the last few weeks. So it's going to be spring before you know it. And then when we get to Suite reports, I think the skin we've got on there is summertime, so you get to see some palm trees there. So anyway, in Number Dispenser, the functionality is still the same. If you need to create a new list, there's a wizard that walks you through the process to go through the creation of your numbering scheme, and then determines how many letters you want in your prefix, how many letters, if any, you want in your suffix, and then how many characters you want in your actual document numbers. And it'll allow you to go up to a total of 32 characters, which is a pretty long document number. And we do require that you check out documents in order to edit them. Once they're checked out, then you click on the edit button and it brings up the document to edit. If you want to look at a document list that's already in existence here, if I highlight one and then click view, then it's going to display the list for me. It's going to show me all of the numbers that have been assigned, who assigned it, what document it was used in, if there's any notes, and when that assignment took place. Okay, so lots of functionality here for people that require document numbers. It seems as though more and more customers are requiring the unique number be assigned to a document as well as a unique title. So we're able to provide a variety of assets and functionality here to make that a reality within the system. And document or number dispenser is available from just about every module where a document number is used. So there's a get button at the end of the document number field, and you hit the get button and it'll ask you then, it'll prompt you which number list you wish to select from, and once you make your selection, it'll provide you with the next available number. All right, well, I'm going to turn this back over to Megan for the last one here so she can go over Suite Reports. Take it away, Megan.
Thank you. Last but not least is our beloved Suite Reports module. There we go. Oh, look at that nice palm tree. That is where I'd certainly like to be right now. For those of you that haven't used this application before, they are divided by the applications that we have or that are installed on your workstation. So if you don't have the authoring tools, so to speak, then you wouldn't be able to see instruction writer, policy writer, or procedure writer reports, so on and so forth. So we'll go over the new reports mainly that we have. We are on the first one, which is the comment route history report. So are those butterflies? Oh, that's so cute. So you can sort by title. I will click on Control A to select all of them. There we go. And do the little check mark. You can sort by route status. I will click on all, and then it'll sort by the title and ascending. If you push submit, oh, it's a little fun. That's so cute. It'll list all of the documents that have a route for comment. It'll tell you the participants, if they viewed it, what action they took upon it, if it's been resolved, and what the comment would look like, or what comment they had. Some of these route comments are incredibly large. We will go next to the current list, which is the list of all current documents in the system. You can sort by document type, and I'm just going to put all of them in. And then there's an index topic and an index item that you can sort by. Which one should I pick? Document classification. And then I'll do an index item of that instruction. Oh, I can do the find. And there it is. And then I'll sort by the title and ascending. All right, so these are all instructions, and they are all current. It'll tell you the revision, the document number, and when they were released by. 49 documents. The next report we'll talk about is escalated notifications. There we go, hiding in the sand. So you can select a start and an end date, but if you leave it blank, it will search through all of the notifications. Let's see, you can have it set for a user, and I'm going to go through all of the users. Notification type, all, escalation status, active, group by notification type, and ascending. will tell you how many of that notification type there are for the document above. So this is the only corrective action FAA notification type. And then we have plenty for the corrective action owner. Yeah, corrective action owner. There are 23 pages. That is a lot of escalations, as we saw earlier. See, the next report is the master list review summary. I will go through all of them. So these are all master list documents that need to be reviewed. I'll tell you the start date, the scheduled review date, when it was released, last times that they were reviewed, and the next date. And then we have 6 pages. That is a lot. Okay, next is non-unique number. This is conveniently the next one. This will go through every document in the system and look for documents that have the same document number. So we have a handful, and we will, oh yeah, that's 6 pages again. It's our lucky number today. Last but not least are the SPC reports that were in SPC Examiner. Let's see, which one should I do? Yeah, we have all of them. I don't believe we added any new ones. And those are all of the new reports that we've put in the system. So I guess it's that time we move on to questions.
Megan, can you hear me this time?
Yes.
Yay! Hello, everybody. This is Carrie Creech. I had a little bit of audio trouble at the beginning, so thankfully Brad and Megan both jumped in and kicked us off. So hello, everybody. I would like to offer my thanks for joining us, too. We do have a few questions that came in while we were going through the webinar, and I tried to answer them as they were coming in. Again, as you continue to have questions, please type them in. We'll take questions as long as we have time left. I know, Megan, you and Brad have some there that you've already been getting as you've been upgrading folks, so I'll let you start there, but I just wanted to see if everybody could hear me. So I'll let you go first, and then I'll follow up with mine.
Okay, thanks, Carrie. All right, so one of the questions that we've gotten in the other webinar was, is it possible to configure the amount of time that passes before escalation occurs, or do you have to just use the default? And all of the settings that we've shown you in the notification utility are configurable so that you can even enable or disable them so that you don't get any notifications at all if you want. If that's the way you want to roll, then you can do it that way. If you want to add additional time, you're certainly able to accommodate that, so you can make it fit whatever you need to fit your business requirements. All right, is case-sensitive help available in all of the applications or just the newest ones? And it's available in all of them now. Either in the newest applications, you can just hit F1 to get the case-sensitive help. In the previous applications, the previous versions like Desktop and Document Manager that are not in our newest format yet, those you can go to Help and Context-Sensitive Help to get to the Context-Sensitive Help. And another question that we've had is the software available, or when's it going to be available? And it's available now. We've already upgraded several customers, particularly those that attended the first webinar. I think the vast majority of them have already been upgraded in addition to a number of other customers. So it's available now, and we're more than happy to help in getting that process going for you. And we'd hopefully like to get you upgraded before the end of the year. If we can arrange that, if it works in your schedule, we'll make it work in ours. So any other questions?
Yeah, Brad, to piggyback on that, someone asked how long they should plan for the upgrade for 4.0. I believe, I'm going to go ahead and take this one myself, but I believe we typically would say, let's schedule a couple of hours just to be safe. But I know Megan's done a lot of these. I don't believe it typically takes that long, especially from the server perspective. If you have a lot of workstations, maybe a little bit of extra time. Am I in the ballpark as the right time frame?
You are. For the ones that I've had experience with, I have had several that have lasted right at 1 hour to go through the entire process of downloading the software, going through and running the upgrade and completing the notification setup. You do have a new wrinkle here, as you do have to have a service user to run the notification service. It is a notification service now, as opposed to something that just ran occasionally in the background. So there is a user that has to have access to Active Directory as well as to the share, so that they have access to the files.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and if that's a lot more information, if that's a lot more information than some of you are familiar with, your IT folks probably are very familiar with it. Sometimes some of that goes over my head too. So as always, just shoot us an email. We'll be happy to get that on our schedule that matches yours, and we'll get you upgraded as quickly as possible. Another question, can notifications be sent via email? I think that one just actually came in as we were just starting to talk about the notifications, and indeed we did answer that. Then a couple of slides later that yes, the notifications, not only will they happen within the suite, but they will come through your email system. And again, that is something that we'll make sure is working correctly when we upgrade you. Another one was, we only have a couple of the modules. So maybe you're a customer that maybe you just use Desktop and Document Manager right now. The question was, are the notifications part of everything, or is it like you have to purchase a separate module? No, this is new functionality that is throughout most of the suite. And so when we upgrade you, that functionality will be available to you. I think as Megan said, today you might want to start thinking, how would I use that in my organization, in my company? And we would be happy to talk through that with you. Just for some extra information, we will be providing a link. You'll all get an email that will include a link for the recorded video. Please feel welcome to share it with your colleagues, anybody that would have an interest in this. And if you would like to have a separate conversation that says, okay, we really want to take advantage of notifications and escalations, can we talk through that with you? Please reach out to us. That's what we're here for. We know it's new, and we've had a lot of conversation internally and even with customers over the years, which is how we developed this. And so we certainly have some helpful hints and advice that we could help you in that setup process. So please use us in that way. A couple of things. So if you don't already know about it, we've tried to get the word out, probably be sending some more emails out before the end of the year, but we did introduce earlier this year a new offering on our website called How Do I Videos. And basically they're little YouTube videos that are anywhere from maybe a couple of minutes all the way up to maybe 20, depending on the topic. They might be a little bit longer, but things that you can jump into very quickly. I'm going to use a quick example. How do I add a user? How do I check out a document in Document Manager? Those types of things. They are behind your username and password on our website. If you have one already, you've already been given access to those. You'll want to go to our website at waypointglobal.com. Under Customer Support, on that drop-down menu, there is a selection for How Do I Videos. They are listed alphabetically by module, and even if don't have a certain module, you can still view those videos. So if you wanted to, you don't currently use corrective action, but you wanted to see how our corrective action module works, that's one way to even take a look at it even before you call us and talk to us about it. You could go watch those videos and just kind of see how things flow. So those videos are available, and we're still, I believe, Brad and Megan, we're still working on videos that will talk about escalation and notification, but I believe we'll have some in the future, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, yes. So they're coming. We just, we're there, as you could tell, there's a little bit to it, so we want to make sure that we give you enough information to be helpful, but maybe not overwhelm it in all one big video, but maybe cut it up into some slices. So we're still working on those, but they'll be done very shortly. Those are all of the questions that I had on my side. Again, recording will be coming. If there's anything that you need help with, again, scheduling the upgrade, questions about what you saw today, even before you upgrade, please let me know. Email support@waypointglobal.com. We'll get on the phone, we'll talk through it, and make sure that you're comfortable with it. If you need an account on our website so that you can have access to those videos, you can email me. I'll set one up for you very quickly. If you have colleagues, those videos are not just for like the main user at your company. They are indeed available to anybody. So if you're the document control person, but you've got somebody else that uses corrective action and they always come to you to ask questions, they can have access to those videos too. They just need an account. They can either create one themselves, and then I will add the accessibility that they need, or you can just email me, give me their email address, and I'll get them set up. So that is something that is part of the technical support agreement. So as long as the customer has an current agreement in place, they have access to all upgrades, such as version 4.0 that we discussed today, along with all assistance from our staff and the videos. So 5:01, we need to get out of here. Guys, thanks so much. I know it's the end of most of your day, so again, thanks for sticking with us. Please let us know if you have any questions. We so appreciate your time. Hope you had a great holiday last weekend. And if we don't talk to you soon, I hope you have a great rest of the holiday season and the end of your year. Take care, everybody. Thank you.